Hello, Taylor Ellwood, your business wizard at Imagine Your Reality. I design successful businesses. Recently, I signed up for an online class on how to write for the social web. And then just yesterday, I signed up for a program called Lead Pages, which I'm going to be using on my website. And I got to tell you that making both of these choices was a risk. It was a risk that I was taking in order to move my business ahead, to get it out of its plateau and get it to rise up and be more successful. But it was a risk nonetheless. When you own a business, you need to become comfortable with taking risks. And the reason for that is because you are taking a risk. You're not settling for someone else paying you a salary and covering your health insurance. Instead, you're taking care of all of that yourself. And as a result, the choices you make are more important than they would be if you were working for someone else. What I mean by that is they're more important in the sense that your choices have consequences that can affect whether or not your business continues to be successful. So when we talk about taking on a risk, it's really important to recognize what kinds of risks we want to take on. Not just any risk is going to do. You've got to be willing to really approach risks from a place of strategy and calculation. And don't get me wrong, as business owners, we're all familiar with failing. We're all familiar with taking a risk and sometimes having things not work out. That's part of the nature of taking a risk. But ideally, when we take a risk, we want to take a look at what it is that we're trying to accomplish. So in the case of myself, I decided to take that class and to sign up for this new service because I want to grow my business. And I know that learning some new skills is going to play an important part. I'm risking a fair amount because I'm putting up a significant amount of money to take those classes. And so what I'm banking on is that that money is going to actually produce a good return on investment. Well, so far it actually has. I've made back the cost of the first class, and I'm sure I'll make back the cost of the service. But this is part of what we call making or taking a risk, is that we look at the risk that we're taking. We ask ourselves, well, what's the payoff? What's the potential return on investment? So when you're looking at your business and you're thinking about some of the risks that you're going to take, whether you're going to create a new product line or you're going to take a class or you're going to do something else, it's really important to weigh what the benefits are versus what the potential loss is. And so in the case of taking the class, the way that I looked at it was, okay, the class costs X amount of money. The potential result is that I will actually double or triple the amount of clients that I have. The potential loss is that I don't quite get the value that I hoped I'd get out of the class. But nonetheless, I know I'll get something from the class because me being the way that I am, I always look for what I can get from something. So for me, that was an acceptable risk. What I want you to do is I want you to take a look at your business and ask yourself, what are the acceptable risks that you're willing to take? What is acceptable for you? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? It's really important to look at these things carefully because then it will help you to decide what choices to make, what risks to take, and from there, how it will affect your business. So, we'll talk about this topic more in next week's video cast, but hopefully today you're thinking a bit further about what kind of risks you're willing to take and what the return on investment is. Have a comment about taking risks, feel free to leave it below, and please subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thanks.